It's midnight and you're tuning into Nightline with me, Raymond. The headlines. Allegation of possible intrusion, MAF to increase preparedness and security control in Sabah East Coast. And SOP violation, organizer of 100-day Aspirasi Keluarga Malaysia event slapped with 1,000 ringgit fine. Good morning. The Malaysian Armed Forces MAF will increase preparedness and security control in Sabah East Coast to the highest level following allegations of possible intrusion by certain parties from the Philippines to the state. Senior Defence Minister Datuk Seri Hishamuddin Tun Hussein said based on MAF's operations and intelligence, so far there has been no clear indication or solid evidence supporting media reports on the allegation of possible intrusion in the state.
Saya telah arahkan ketiga-tiga perkhidmatan melalui Panglima Medan Timur, Panglima Armada Timur dan juga Panglima Wilayah Udara 2 untuk meningkatkan kesiapsiagaannya di tahap yang paling tinggi di negeri berkenaan, terutamanya di pantai timur Sabah.
Datuk Seri Hishamuddin said this at a media conference on the post-100-day Aspirasi Keluarga Malaysia program at Wisma Perwira ATM in Kuala Lumpur on Friday. He also said the ministry and MAF viewed the news reports seriously and urged the Sabah people not to be worried about the threat as the security forces were constantly monitoring the situation. He added he would also resume discussions with his counterparts, Indonesian Defence Minister Prabowo Subianto and Philippine Defence Secretary Delfin Lorenzana on the Trilateral Cooperative Arrangement TCA initiative to ensure the safety of the Sulu Sea and Sulawesi Sea. He also assured that maintaining the peace and prosperity of Sabah remains his ministry's highest priority, adding that the ministry would continue to ensure that the safety of Sabah is not compromised and the country's sovereignty is not jeopardized. On Thursday, international media reported that a secret meeting was held on December 1st, organized by a senior Sulu local government official, attended by 19 mayors there, to discuss the establishment of the Royal Sulu Army to capture Sabah. In the meantime, Internal Security and Public Order Department Director Dato' Hazani Ghazali said that the allegation that there was a planned attack on Sabah by the Sulu Army was believed to be false and had been tried to be manipulated by certain parties who envied the security in this country, especially in Sabah. He said the alleged meeting to plot an invasion into Sabah by Sulu Army was actually a meeting on security matters in southern Philippines.
Memang ada perjumpaan di sana, tapi bukan berkaitan untuk klaim terhadap Sabah atau nak serang Sabah dan sebagainya. Tapi more on security matters yang ada di sana.
Dato' Hazani said this during a media conference after witnessing the handing over of duties from outgoing Eastern Sabah Security Command, ESCOM Commander Dato' Ahmad Fuad Othman, to Deputy Commissioner Hamzah Ahmad on Friday. He also said such claims would not create panic among Sabahans, as security forces, including the police and armed forces, were always ready to face threats. He then added that the meeting, attended by, among others, their government officials, was also to brainstorm ideas to bring in investors to the Philippines. Earlier, there was a news report that there was a secret meeting among 19 mayors in Sulu to discuss the recruitment of 600 armed militia as plans to set up the Royal Sulu Army to invade Sabah. The cabinet meeting on Friday agreed that the recruitment of foreign workers is open to all sectors, apart from the plantation sector. Human Resources Minister Datuk Seri M. Saravanan said that the meeting also agreed for Malaysia to sign a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, for the recruitment of foreign workers from Bangladesh. In a statement on Friday, Datuk Sri Saravanan said the Cabinet also agreed that the implementation of the multi-level levy be postponed from January 1st, 2022 to July 1st, 2022, so that employers would not be burdened. Following that, he said the recruitment of foreign workers would be opened to sectors allowed for the employment of foreign workers, namely plantation, agriculture, manufacturing, services, mining and quarrying, construction and domestic services. He said as the entry of foreign workers will cover all permitted employment sectors and to prevent the spread of the COVID-19 epidemic, the Human Resources Ministry will work with the Health Ministry and the National Security Council to refine standard operating procedures, SOP, for the entry of foreign workers. That includes the quarantine aspects to ensure there is no compromise in terms of safety and health. The organizer of Putrajaya's 100-day Aspirasi Keluarga Malaysia event at the Kuala Lumpur Convention Centre, KLCC, has been slapped with a 1,000 ringgit fine. Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin, who disclosed this, also expressed regret over the event. He noted that the organizer had initially given its commitment that all programs would comply strictly with COVID-19 Standard Operating Procedures SOP, and that's together with monitoring, control and continued enforcement activities. In a statement on Friday, Khairi described the event venue as congested, lack of physical distancing and poor crowd control, which could increase the risk of COVID-19 spreading. He said action was taken under the Prevention and Control of Infectious Diseases Act 1988 or Act 342 with the issuance of a 1,000 ringgit compound to the organizer for the failure to ensure physical distancing and causing congestion. In the same statement, Khairi also announced that the Royal Malaysia Police and Road Transport Department's summons payment counters had been ordered to close on Friday afternoon. Further information on the method of summons payment and discount offers will be provided by police. The Health Minister stressed that his ministry will continue to monitor the progress of the program and will not hesitate to issue more fines to the organizer if it fails to ensure compliance with the SOPs. He said they must adhere to the same standards that have been imposed on the people. The government's move to import frozen chicken is a temporary measure to stabilize prices at the retail level. Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Minister Datuk Sri Alexander Nanta Linggi said the government had tried to control the price of chicken through the maximum price under the Malaysian Family Maximum Price Scheme.
Kita bukan sasaran kepada pembuta, kita bawa masuk banyak ayam tu adalah kerana dikatakan ada tekanan ayam kekurangan, ya, it's more demand than supply. Jadi kita bawa supply masuklah, ya, untuk kita harapkan supaya harga peringkat runcit boleh tersendirinya akan menurunlah oleh kerana ada persaingan lebih banyak lagi bekalan ayam.
Apabila harga itu kembali stabil, maksudnya mengimport masuk untuk ayam berkuning akan dihentikan ke macam mana?
Ya, itu buat sementara. Tujuannya buat sementara kerana sekarang kekurangan ayam dikatakan ataupun tekanan oleh kerana harga ayam peringkat runcit ni dah meledak. Tapi itu pun kita dah kawal dengan skim maksima harga ayam, ya.
The maximum price of standard chicken is set at 9 ringgit 30 cent per kilogram for retail sales and 8 ringgit per kilogram for wholesalers in the peninsula except in Langkawi.
Life in the post-pandemic era, with COVID-19 changing the way people live, by accelerating digitalization as Malaysians look towards the horizon for recovery. What is Telekom Malaysia's role? Telekom Malaysia TM Group Chief Executive Officer Imri Mokhtar on Money Matters this Saturday 5 p.m. only on TV3.
The Health Ministry will enforce the Dental Act 2018, Act 804, from January 1st to replace the Dental Act 1971, Act 51, which has been used for the past 50 years to regulate practice in the field of dentistry. Its Minister, Khairi Jamaluddin, said the Act 804 provides the establishment of the Malaysian Dental Council and the Malaysian Board of Dental Therapists, the registration of dentists and dental therapists, the regulation of dental practice and related matters. In a statement on Friday, he said the Act requires that only qualified, competent and professional practitioners would be registered and qualified to provide dental services. With this, he said the quality of dental services and patient safety are guaranteed, as well as increase the people's confidence and trust in dental services. In line with the development of practice and technology in the field of dentistry, Khairi said a new act with wider jurisdiction and provisions covering all aspects of the latest dental practice was needed. However, he said the provision will only be enforced on January 1st, 2025. 12 students received letters of offer for admission to institutions of higher learning for the 2021 to 2022 session from Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob. This is in conjunction with the second day of the 100 Days Malaysian Family Aspiration, AKM, being held at the Kuala Lumpur Convention Centre, KLCC. The offer letters were presented to 3 students of the 2-year session of 2021 to 2022 University Technology Mara UITM. Farah Shuhada Zahari, Intan Shahara Shahruddin and Aiman Shafiq Rashid also received laptops in addition to cash assistance of 700 ringgit along with a data plan worth 200 ringgit. 3 other students received offer letters to polytechnics and community colleges from the Polytechnic and Community College Education Department, JPPKK. They also received cash assistance amounting to 500 ringgit with offer letters to the Masa University and the National Higher Education Fund Corporation PTPTN Loan Advance Offer Letter. The Prime Minister also spent about 10 minutes at the Higher Education Ministry booth. Also present was Higher Education Minister Datuk Seri Noraini Ahmad. Viral video of bullying incident, 4 youths arrested. The details and more when we return. Welcome back to Nightline. Pulau Penang says it will not enforce the new liquor licensing policy that requires coffee shops and restaurants to apply for liquor licenses to sell liquor starting January 1st next year. The state government said this was because the enforcement of liquor licenses in all coffee shops and restaurants was burdensome for many, especially when the people were still struggling with the economic downturn due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Pulau Penang Housing, Local Government and Town and Country Planning Committee Chairman Jagdeep Singh Deo said the state government disagrees to the policy, adding that for liquor sales, it can still be continued with the current status quo. He said the matter was stated in a meeting last Tuesday in the presence of the Customs Department, and the state government has set on record that Pulau Penang will not enforce the decision. It was reported that the Customs Department would require coffee shops and restaurants to apply for liquor licenses to sell liquor starting next year. The law under the Excise Regulations 1977 involving the license to sell liquor has existed since 1976. Perak police have arrested 4 youths believed to be involved in the bullying incident at the Sultan Azlan Shah Mara Junior Science College, or MRSM, in Kuala Kangsar, Perak. State Police Chief Datuk Mio Farid Al-Atrash said the boys aged 13 were arrested at the Kuala Kangsar Police Headquarters between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. on Friday. Earlier, Senior Education Minister Dr. Radzi Jidin confirmed the matter after his ministry had been made aware of several videos circulating on social media on the bullying case. In a posting on his Facebook page on Friday, Dr. Radzi said his ministry found that the incident did not involve any institution under its purview. Nevertheless, his ministry has contacted the parties involved and were informed that a follow-up action has been taken against the students involved. Meanwhile, Rural Development Minister Datuk Sri Madzir Khalid posted a statement on his Facebook page that Majlis Amanah Rakyat Mara will conduct a detailed probe into the viral video of the bullying incident at the boarding school which is under its purview. He also assured that there will be no compromise on the matter as Mara views such cases seriously and stern action will be taken on the students involved based on the provisions and rules at the Mara management level based on the outcome of the probe. Earlier, a series of videos showing a group of students using a schoolmate as a punching bag went viral on social media. Perak Police Chief Datuk Mio Farid Al-Atrash Wahid said authorities are conducting a detailed investigation into the bullying case following a report lodged by the Sultan Azlan Shah MRSM principal at about 1 p.m. Initial investigation found the incident occurred on Thursday, involving 7 suspects and a victim, all aged 13. He added police will also be calling all the students involved and the owner of the social media account which viraled the videos to record their statements to facilitate investigations. In Johor, the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency MMEA has foiled an attempt to smuggle out 40 kilograms of shabu worth 2 million ringgit at a fisherman's jetty in Parit Jawa Muar at around 7 p.m. on Thursday. State MMEA Director First Admiral Nurul Hizam Zakaria said the drugs were discovered when the agency's Batu Pahat Maritime Zone personnel intercepted a suspicious fishing boat at the jetty. Close checks on the vessel revealed a hidden white gunny sack containing the drugs inside 30 transparent plastic packing bags, which would be transferred to another boat heading to a neighboring country. 2 local men on the vessel, aged 45 and 48, were detained to facilitate investigations under the Dangerous Drugs Act. In Pahang, 2 brothers aged 40 and 43 who have been living lavishly, purportedly from dealing drugs in Kuantan, were nabbed by the police on Monday. State Police Chief Datuk Ramli Muhammad Yusof said the first suspect was nabbed at 11 p.m. when he was waiting inside a Ford Ranger Raptor parked on the roadside near the Kuantan Toll Plaza. The suspect then led authorities to a house in Kota Sas, where various types of drugs weighing over 7 kilograms and worth nearly 400,000 ringgit were discovered, before police raided another house in Felda Pancing Utara and arrested the second suspect an hour later. Both suspects have been remanded until Monday to assist investigations, while their cash and assets, as well as the drugs, totaling 1.04 million ringgit, were seized. Elsewhere in Johor, police busted an online gambling syndicate which has been targeting local customers following the arrest of 5 Indonesian men during a raid at a house in Taman Ungku, Tun Amina on Wednesday. State Police Chief Dato' Ayub Khan Maidin Piche said all those arrested aged 21 to 29 acted as credit top-up and withdrawal operators. He added the house was used as an online gambling center, which operated round the clock since March, allowing the syndicate to rake in profits worth millions of ringgit. Police are currently tracking down the mastermind of the syndicate, while all those detained have been remanded until Sunday to assist investigations under the Common Gaming Houses Act. Still ahead on Nightline, dozens killed after migrant truck crashes in Mexico. The details up next. Nightline takes you to the foreign front now. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson's Conservatives have lost their poll lead over the opposition Labour Party after revelations about alleged lockdown parties at Johnson's residence provoked an outcry over hypocrisy. A YouGov poll for the Times newspaper showed the Conservatives had dropped 3 percentage points from December 2nd to 33% of the vote, while Labour rose 4 percentage points to 37%. The slump, which is the Conservative Party's lowest in almost a year, heaps more pressure on the Prime Minister, who is already facing rebellion from up to 50 of his own MPs over new COVID-19 restrictions. Just hours after apologizing for the video allegedly showing a party in Downing Street in 2020, Johnson imposed tighter COVID-19 restrictions on England. Downing Street had denied any party took place. According to The Times, 75% of people believed that there was a Christmas party in which coronavirus regulations were broken, and 68% of those surveyed believed Johnson was not telling the truth when he denied it. Democracy faces sustained and alarming challenges worldwide. U.S. President Joe Biden, in pointing this out on Thursday, said trends are largely pointing in the wrong direction and that now more than ever, democracy needs champions.
We stand at an inflection point in our history, in my view. The choices we make, in my view, in this moment, are going to fundamentally determine the direction our world is going to take in the coming decades. Will we allow the backward slide of rights and democracy to continue unchecked? Or will we, together, have a vision and the vision?
He was speaking at a virtual summit on democracy, where he sparked controversy by pointedly not inviting China and Russia. The summit featured opening remarks from Biden and Secretary of State Antony Blinken, with representatives from some 100 governments, as well as NGOs, private businesses, philanthropical organizations, and legislatures attending. The two-day event, held by video link because of the coronavirus pandemic, was billed by White House as U.S. leadership in an existential struggle between democracies and powerful autocracies or dictatorships.
By the people, for the people. Can at times be...
A tractor-trailer carrying more than 100 Central American migrants crashed in southern Mexico on Thursday afternoon, killing at least 55 people in one of the worst road accidents to hit the country in recent years. Officials said the crash happened in the state of Chiapas, not far from Mexico's border with Guatemala, when a large trailer overturned on a dangerous curve. It appeared that the driver was speeding when he lost control of the vehicle on the highway, and preliminary investigation revealed a mechanical problem appeared to have caused the accident. 49 people died at the scene and 5 more while receiving medical attention. The fatalities included men, women, as well as children, and at least another 58 people were hurt in the incident, 3 of them seriously. The nationalities of the victims were not immediately known, but migrants fleeing poverty and violence in Central America typically trek through Mexico to reach the U.S. border and sometimes cram into large trucks organized by smugglers in extremely dangerous conditions. Coming up after this short break, Spurs outplay the Nuggets. Stay tuned. The NBA, the San Antonio Spurs stopped a 2-game losing streak and took advantage of back-to-back night games by the Denver Nuggets to beat them at home by a score of 123-111. Both Derek White and Lonnie Walker IV had great performances in the Spurs win, the former scoring 23 points and the latter contributing 21 points in the clear victory for the home team. Another player who stood out for the Spurs was DeJounte Murray, who had 20 points, 9 assists and 8 rebounds for the 5-time NBA champions. Despite the loss, the production of the reigning NBA MVP, Serbian Nikola Jokic, was once again outstanding for the Nuggets as he had a triple-double for the 3rd game in a row with 22 points, 13 rebounds and 10 assists. In total, Jokic has 5 triple-doubles so far this season. The Nuggets remained in 8th place in the Western Conference, while the Spurs are 12th in the same standings. Christmas lights in central London illuminate the Oxford, Regent and Carnaby streets as well as Trafalgar Square to spread the holiday cheer. We leave you now with scenes in the British capital to wrap up Nightline this time around. With that, I'm Raymond Goh. Thanks for your company. Stay safe and have a great weekend.